Thanks for checking out this movie review video. This is for the 2024 release Stream, and I'd heard some people say some really good things about this film, including, I believe, one person who is a subscriber to my channel saying that this was their favorite film of 2024. Horror, that is. Favorite horror film. But I didn't love it that much. I did like it, so I would recommend checking it out, but I would also say maybe wait until it's a little bit cheaper at the moment. I rented it through Fandango at home for $15.89 with tax. I don't know why it's still that high, to be honest, because it came out months ago. And when I'm putting this out, even further ago, because I'm scheduling this ahead. But anyway, this one's directed by Michael Leavy, who did Halloween Awakening, Catch of the Day, What's the Deal, and Abnormal Attraction, which have not seen any of those. It was written by Leavy as well as Steven Della Salla, who also wrote scripts for Halloween Awakening, Catch of the Day, and Abnormal Attraction, as well as Jason Levy, who wrote scripts for Catch of the Day and Abnormal Attraction. So obviously these people working together on multiple projects. There are some big names in this, especially if you're in the horror community, and it's, obviously it's actors that are well past their prime, but are very fun to see in these films and actually do a good job in these films. It has Dee Wallace, Jeffrey Combs, Danielle Harris, Tim Curry, Bill Moseley, David Howard Thornton, Melissa Rose, and Tony Todd. That's a pretty good roster for people like me who just love to see these older actors who are very famous within the horror realm just getting more work, and especially being pooled all into one movie. It's just fun to see that. They don't have, only one of them has a huge role, which is Jeffrey Combs, and I do have to say, Jeffrey Combs, his performance is my favorite thing about this film. He's always a great actor, but his performance in this in particular just stands out so much as being purely delightful. Anytime he's on the screen, I was having a wonderful time. Sometimes he's not on the screen, I was having a good time, but a lot of times not. The other thing is acting ability in this film. There's Jeffrey Combs all the way up here, and then there's everyone else kind of in the middle. Like, there's a big separation between Combs' performance and everyone else's performance, unfortunately. But, it's a low-budget independent film, so that's kind of what you end up getting, so you have to adjust your expectations. And like I said, overall, I liked the film. Also, practical effects by Damien Leone. Yes, the Terrifier guy. Writer, director, practical effects for Terrifier. So, quick synopsis for this one. There's not a whole lot story-wise for this one. It's literally a situation where it's a family who are having some issues with their kids. Not everyone's getting along. They want to reconnect, so they go away to this hotel that's a little more remote. They get to the hotel. The hotel doesn't have any cell service. It doesn't have any Wi-Fi. It has no internet. And miraculously, the phones aren't there. There's something afoot. So basically, it's a bunch of psychotic killers in this game running loose within the hotel when you have all these guests there that they lock in. So it is a fun time in those respects. So if you're looking for just like kind of a turn your brain off and have a good time slasher type film like this, go ahead and watch it. I think you'll enjoy that. Also, no, low budget. You gotta have those expectations. The film does immediately scream low budget with the acting and the overall look to it. It does look pretty low budget as well. But I think for how low budget it seems, they did a decent enough job. Excuse me. Sorry about that. It feels like a whole lot of cliche in the beginning. And not just in the beginning, just in this film in general. There is a lot of cliche to it. It kind of feels like one of those movies where it's like, we know that this is going to be all about the main premise of the film, and it's going to be about the practical effects, and it's going to be about the kills that we set up. It's going to be about the villains. It's all about that aspect. It's a typical, like, people are here for the slash-in type film. They don't really care about the story so much. And you can try to make it a little more interesting, like maybe create more interesting characters. I don't think they did a very good job creating interesting characters. All the characters in this are very one-dimensional. They're very boring. They're stock characters or characters you've seen before. And the situations are very overused. Like I was saying, super cliche. It's this whole like fighting family, and a lot of the dialogue is super cliche. A lot of the dialogue's not that well written, to be honest. It's at best, but It's just so cliche, and I just found myself being like, just get rid of the story, have as little story in this film as possible, and just get to what you know everyone is here for, which is the fun, interesting premise, plus the kills, plus the costuming of the killers, all that type of stuff. Plus the horror icons that are in this film. Like, that's what people are here for. So stop trying to act like people are here for the story at all. Like, it just bogs the film down. And the other thing is, this film is over 2 hours. Listen to, like, consider the premise I just laid out for this film. There's no possible way that this film should have been considered at any point to be over an hour and a half. Maybe slightly over if they felt like they had the material, but it is not there. Like, over 2 hours is egregious for a runtime for a film like this, and I would slap the hands of these filmmakers if I met them in person, because I'm like, you know better than this. You know people aren't interested in getting 2 hours of this film. Fun enough for what it is, but you know people don't want to sit there for 2 hours for this. There's one death early on, but it's off screen. So at that point, I was kind of like getting a little bit concerned. I'm like, are we not going to be having fun with the kills? Are we not going big with the practical effects? But then I was like, yeah, but it's Damien Leone in this. Like, that's all he does. So it has to pay off at some point. So yes, after that off-screen kill in the beginning, they do then get to, I think the next kill after that, they show you the good stuff, what you're really there for, what you're hoping for. And it does deliver. Damien Leone always delivers with practical effects, in my opinion. And it's decently often in this film. So if that's what you're looking for going into this film, you will not be disappointed. It's worth it for that, I think. Like I said, you eventually do get that nice Leone gore, and it's fun when it ends up hitting. What happens in between, it actually took longer than I expected before there was some nudity in this film. For how low budget and it was, and like the concept of the film and it being a slasher, I figured there's going to be nudity. There's always nudity, and there is, and it's a decent amount just from like one scene. But it took way longer to get to the nudity. I thought this would be one of those films where it'd just be like nudity up front, and then maybe they just get over it with, or maybe there's a lot of it. I don't know. But yeah, it's just one scene really, and it is prolonged. But I wouldn't say shocked. I was just a little bit surprised. I was just like, oh, it's taken quite a while to get to this. The dialogue is and the characters aren't interesting at all. Kind of already talked about that. I'm going to reiterate Jeffrey Combs' performance. A delight to watch. I love him in this. I mean, I love him in everything, but in particular in this film, he really shines. Just so much fun. You can tell he had a good time with it. There's something at the end that was supposed to have impact, but I laughed at it. Just to give you an idea of like the clichéness of the story and just how like not interesting or engaging that story is. It was really supposed to have some impact, and I involuntarily laughed at it. And I was just like, yes, this is a reaction you're not going for, but that's a reaction you're getting from me. But just know also, if you are going to watch this film, there is like a mid-credit scene. So they do a little bit of credits, and then they have another scene, which I really like that scene. So, or actually a few scenes actually that they throw in there. So don't stop watching as soon as the credits roll. Like, you're going to miss some stuff that is a good time. So don't stop the fun there. So anyway, out of 5 stars, half stars, and play, I'm going to give this a solid enough 3-star rating. It's not enough to get it to a 3.5. I was between 2.5 and 3, but I was like, no, overall, I did have a fun enough time with this one. So 3-star rating. I think maybe I could have bumped it up if it was edited down a bunch. But yeah, definitely stuff in there to enjoy, and I think a lot of people will have fun with it if you're a horror fan, especially if you're a gore fan, or you just like slashers or premises like this, or just want to see these cool horror icons. But go ahead and put some comments down there. We can talk spoilers if you want to. And also, do you have a different opinion on this? Would love to hear that. But hit the subscribe button to support me. I appreciate that. Hit the thumbs up to also support me with that YouTube algorithm help. Notification bell button if you want to know when I'm putting up new videos, and if you want to pitch in a small amount monetarily each month. I do have perks for the channel. There's a link in the description for that. I have 2 separate tiers, and like I said, it's very nominal fee It's like small amount. I think it's $1.99 and $2.99 are the levels. So just a few bucks a month. And you get early access to all my videos because I plan out like sometimes months in advance my material, so you can just access it as soon as I do it. But anyway, thank you everyone regardless for taking your time to watch this, and until next time, keep it brutal.